As you might have seen in my latest video, it's winter here in Denmark, and winter time means two possible weather scenarios, it seems. It's either frost and snow, or it is wet and very rainy. And especially the wet and rainy part seems to be the dominant for us these years. And when it is like that, it is very hard for me to go and work on the Viking house build site down here by the stream. But I must admit that it's very difficult for me to wait. I'm not very patient right now. The big project right now, and that is taking all my thinking time and reflecting, is to prepare some big pieces of timber to help support the roof construction. And like I mentioned earlier, I am making these out of whole logs that I'm turning into timber with the Viking Age tools. And I have been trying to work on the first log. It is the first time ever I'm trying to hew these beams or pieces of timber out of logs, and it is not as difficult as I feared, but it is a different way to work with the tools, and I must admit that there's a big safety issue that I need to address working with these sharp axes in this manner and with this force that is at sometimes needed. And to make everything stable. And there is also the issue that this is by far the hardest or the toughest job I have put my axes through. And in fact, while hewing the first beam, both my large axes broke by the handle. So there is a few things to do at the Viking house before the heavy work begins again. There's handling two axes, preparing the handles, oiling them, taking care of them. A lot of my tools are in need of sharpening or filing. The shave horse actually ended up being carried away a few hundred meters by the stream at some point just before New Year. We had a huge rainfall here, and the stream swelled up and took a lot of my stuff away from the work site, and I had to collect it downstream. There is some repair I need to do on the shave horse as well. One thing I quickly realized when I started hewing the first log was the issue of safety. It's a big heavy piece of round wood rolling around on top of other pieces of wood, and you're standing on it or standing right next to it, and you're swinging heavy, really sharp, made for the job tools, axes, onto this piece, and I am by no means an experienced woodworker or a lumberjack or a timber guy. I have not done this before, and even though I do like to work with these tools, I normally work with these tools in a more controlled, familiar setting. So I realized really fast that I needed a way to secure the workpiece so it would not roll if I was walking on top of it or moving it around, or it would not move when I was working with the axis with it. The first thing I could think of was log dogs, and log dogs is not known from the Viking Age. It's as far as I know, it's a simple piece of iron turned into a cramp that you where one end sits into a piece of wood lying on the floor, and one onto the wood that you're actually working on, so it cannot roll. And I am by no means an experienced blacksmith. I quite suck at blacksmithing, actually. But I did try to make these really simple log dogs or cramps to hold the wood in place here in my workshop just by hammering on some old metal. And they are not hardened in any way. It's a poor quality iron, and as you see here, they are bending out of shape, and they are rusty, and they are not at all good enough. And I tried to sharpen them, but this iron here is not holding up to it, so it's really hard for me to hammer these things in. And actually, I did injure myself a while back before Christmas. I hurt my thumb by not moving it out of the way when I was hammering this in, because there's a lot of force needed here to hammer this thing in. So I quickly realized that I needed professional help. And I contacted my very good friend, old friend from many years. He's a Viking reenactor. He's a master blacksmith. He is the blacksmith who has forged most of the tools you see me using here in my videos in general, everything from axes to chisels and knives, draw knives, and I contacted him. He's called Kim, and he's a fantastic guy. And I asked him if he would help me make some proper log dogs. So I went to his house, and it's always a good time to come there. We have so much to talk about. We are nerding into different topics. We have different projects actually going on that are long term. One is the axe reconstruction from a specific find that I mentioned quite a while back, but that is still ongoing, that we were comparing to the original in the museum. He said that he would help me make the log dogs, and this is the result.
God hjælper. Rigtig god hjælper. Ah, men du er jo faktisk vinder alle. Ja, det er. Og så kan man ikke være overalt. Skal jeg bare vinde den sidste? lige have det op og have den temperatur der, hvor det går helt ind i blå. Lige der, ja. Ellers så virker det bare ikke. Lige have øjne, når jeg kører med den her.
So this is the result of Kim's work. I got these, I have 3 of these, very, very nice looking, very sturdy, heavy duty, hardened, black burned, sharpened log dogs that will make sure that I am safe while I'm working. It was fantastic to be in Kim's workshop. It always is, and it was quite a treat to be allowed to film him working there. My favorite part of the whole process was the part where he heats up the almost finished tool and rubs beeswax on it to seal the surface and make this lovely black burnished look. And then the beeswax catches fire and has to be heated up again and turned blue. So it burns off in a blue way, so it really sets in the surface and makes sure that these things will be protected from the elements for quite a long time. With this finish, they won't rust. Kim is a master of what he's doing, and he's a very skilled blacksmith, both in the traditional way, in a Viking setting with hand-driven bellows and simple setup, but also he has his more modern workshop where he makes marvels, everything from kitchen knives with forged pattern welded steel to fine silver jewelry, everything in between. So I felt quite fortunate to be able to just call up a really good friend and take some time off and visit him, and then come home with these tools that will help me continue on my quest to build a Viking house. Holding these 3 heavy-duty log dogs makes me think how much material, iron and steel, goes into making these, and knowing how expensive and highly priced steel and iron was in the Viking Age, I'm not sure that the Vikings would have used these. I'm sure there's plenty of other ways for an experienced craftsman who knows more what he's doing than I do to secure the wood. But for me, this makes sense. Kim believes that there is some kind of find of this type of cramp or lock dog to secure wood from the Viking Age. I cannot find anything in my sources, but I'm dying to hear what you think. Do you think the Vikings used these, or what would be good alternatives to secure a big log while you're working it into timber with axes? Let me know in the comments below. I know some of you are full of good ideas, and I am really looking forward to hear what you have to say on this. So I will wrap these 3 log dogs up in a piece of leather so they're safe and protected, and they don't fall on the floor here in my workshop, and then they will be ready for when time comes and we can actually start doing the heavy timber work. So I am really hoping for spring to arrive early so the ground at my house site will dry up and I can start working with the heavy logs there, or for winter to make a return and freeze everything over so I can do the same. But in the meantime, I have to bide my time, and there is things I can prepare here and there. So I hope soon to be able to go there and make this small reset, finishing some of the tools that need handles, sharpening tools, doing repairs on the workbench, and just making sure that everything is ready for when it's time to do the big timber work. So this wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed visiting Kim's workshop, and I am looking forward to continue the journey with you guys. So thanks for watching, and till the next time, stay safe. See you soon.